Discover the heartwarming truth, 3 boyfriends, a life-changing revelation, and my unexpected resurgence. Emma's smile lit up the room like the warm summer sun streaming through her kitchen window. As she flipped the sizzling pot roast, her heart swelled with pride. Each Sunday, she crafted her grandmother's famous recipe, filling her home with the rich aroma of love and history. The laughter of her children, Max and Lily, echoed outside as they chased a soccer ball around the backyard. She would do anything for them, their happiness was her mission. But beneath this perfect facade lay a secret web of tangled hearts. 3 men, each offering a different dream, had woven their way into her life. Jack, the dependable firefighter, represented the stability she craved. His smile calmed her anxieties, and the kids adored him. Ryan, the suave businessman, made her pulse race with ambition, his drive igniting her long-buried dreams. Then there was Alex, the wild artist, whose laughter and free spirit reminded her to let go and dream again. 3 different paths lay before her, but which one truly aligned with her soul? Before she could decipher the whirlwind of her emotions, a revelation rocked her world. While cleaning the attic, she discovered her late father's journal, its brittle pages whispering memories. Each word was a glimpse into the man she thought she knew. A decorated veteran, he had struggled between dreams and responsibilities, leaving behind unfulfilled aspirations like ghosts in the heart. As Emma read, tears pooled in her eyes. His sacrifices mirrored her own. She clutched the journal, feeling as if his spirit was urging her to break free from the chains of expectation. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With her heart pounding, Emma paced the living room, the weight of a decision pressing down on her. Then, the doorbell rang, slicing through her thoughts. Her estranged mother stood on the doorstep, the years of silence hanging heavy in the air. Emma, she said, vulnerability in her voice. Emma felt her breath hitch. The past crashed over her, tangled emotions swirling. Memories of hurt and misunderstanding flooded back. Why now? Emma's voice quavered. Her mom stepped inside, revealing the scars of her own sacrifices, the dreams lost to motherhood and obligation. Silent tears glistened as they faced one another. As the tension tightened like a bowstring, Emma recognized their shared struggle. The generational weight of family loyalty and abandoned dreams pressed upon her. Standing at this crossroads, the journal still in hand, questions burned within her. Would she remain tethered to family duty, or chase her own aspirations, finally echoing her father's unfulfilled legacy? An envelope slipped through the cracks of her memory, a letter from her father's old friend, words that could shine a light on a hidden truth. Emma closed her eyes, feeling the stirrings of courage within. The first step toward understanding who she truly was shimmered tantalizingly ahead. Would she grasp that thread and unravel the tapestry of her life, woven with hopes, fears, and desires? Or would she continue to carry the heavy mantle of sacrifice? The air was thick with anticipation, and just as she opened her eyes to choose her path, the letter's revelation loomed closer than ever. Emma's heart raced as she stood frozen, torn between her past and the shimmering possibilities of the future. The atmosphere was thick with unspoken words, each heavy with emotion. Her mother's eyes, filled with regret and longing, mirrored the pain she felt. Emma, I know I've been absent, her mother began, her voice trembling slightly, but I've thought about you every day. I need you to understand I didn't know how to be the mother you needed. Emma crossed her arms, feeling a mix of frustration and compassion. You chose to leave. You left me to pick up the pieces. The accusation hung between them, sharp and cutting. I know, her mother said softly, tears welling up in her eyes. But it wasn't just you. I was lost, too. Your grandmother's expectations weighed on me and, somewhere along the way, I lost myself. I was trying to be who everyone wanted me to be. As she listened, Emma contemplated the invisible thread connecting them both, a bond woven from shared pain and dreams deferred. A rush of empathy surged within her. Before she could voice her thoughts, her mother continued. I have something for you. She reached into her bag and carefully pulled out a worn, yellowed envelope. It's a letter from your father's friend, from right before he passed away. It was meant for you, but I couldn't face giving it to you. Emma's breath caught as she took the envelope, feeling its weight. It seemed to pulse with the stories and secrets of a man she desperately wanted to understand. Curiosity mixed with apprehension, she glanced at her mother, who was now looking at her with a hint of hope. That day in the attic, her mother whispered. I had no idea you'd find his journal. He wrote about me, didn't he? About us? Emma nodded slowly, unsure how to respond. The journal had painted her father in shades of vulnerability, a man grappling with conflicting loyalties. It made her realize that maybe her mother had carried her own burdens too. Open it, her mother urged, her voice barely above a whisper. With trembling hands, Emma broke the seal. As she unfolded the letter, she caught a whiff of her father's cologne, a reminder of his presence. She began to read, My dear Emma, if you are reading this, it means I have not lived to witness the woman you will become. I want you to know that you have the courage of your grandmother and the heart of your father. Follow your dreams, even when they seem distant. Love fiercely. And remember, it's never too late. Tears streamed down Emma's cheeks as she absorbed the words, feeling unmoored, yet anchored. Her father's encouragement felt like a beacon, drawing her toward a path she had almost forgotten. Her mother wiped a tear from her cheek, glancing nervously at Emma. You need to live for yourself, Emma. When I see you holding back, it breaks my heart to know I might have passed on my fears. Emma looked up, meeting her mother's gaze. They were two women standing amidst the ruins of old dreams, each searching for redemption. What do I do? Emma asked, voice trembling with vulnerability. Start by being honest about what you want. Don't let anyone else write your story. The truth hung in the air like a challenge. Emma felt a spark ignite within her. Perhaps this was her moment to break free, to embrace the plethora of choices and voices beckoning her forward. In that fragile space, she realized she had the power to weave a new narrative. As she considered Jack, Ryan, and Alex, she understood that her heart had room for all three chances, as long as she was true to herself. Can we try to be more honest moving forward? Emma asked, mustering the strength to forge a new bond. Yes, her mother replied, tears glistening with newfound hope. Just then, the doorbell rang again, pulling them back to reality. Emma's heart fluttered. Who could it be this time? With a glance at the letter still clutched in her hand, Emma felt anticipation bubble within her, ready to embrace whatever came next. Would the revelation waiting behind the door shift her life once again, or would it bring clarity to her tangled web of affection? Emma took a deep breath, the letter still close to her heart, grounding her amidst the swirl of emotions. She exchanged a quick glance with her mother, both unsure yet equally curious about the visitor at the door. Should we? Her mother began, but Emma was already moving. She opened the door with a flick of her wrist, and her heart sank at the sight. Jack stood there, his expression a mix of surprise and concern. Emma. I didn't know you were home, he stammered, glancing back and forth between her and her mother. The air grew thick around them, charged with unspoken feelings. Hey, Jack, Emma said, forcing a smile. What brings you here? His eyes flickered toward Emma's mother, who stood a little back, arms wrapped around herself, as if she were trying to shield her heart from scrutiny. Emma could sense the tension crackling between them, and it made her stomach feel unsettled. I came to check in. I know things were a bit strange the last time we talked, he replied, running a hand through his hair. His usual confidence felt frayed. What do you mean? Emma asked, trying to keep her tone light, but feeling the weight of past encounters pressing down on her. She remembered their last meeting, a whirlwind of confusion and semi-broken promises. Jack took a hesitant step forward. "Look, I really want to understand. There is something about you, something I can't shake off. And I think I might be falling for you." His words hung there, heavy but soft, as if they danced around her heart. Emma met his gaze, warmth spreading through her chest. But just as quickly, the memory of Ryan checking in on her this week and Alex's playful teasing came to the forefront. The clarity she sought felt murky again, and she didn't even know how to respond. Before she could utter a word, her mother spoke up. "Jack, could we ask for a moment of privacy?" Her voice, though shaky, carried a resolve that Emma felt like a shield. Jack looked taken aback. "Sure. I just wanted to let us talk," her mother insisted gently, her eyes softening a touch. Emma could tell she wanted to give her the space to navigate this messy emotional landscape. "Okay." Jack stepped back, glancing at Emma with a hint of confusion lingering in his eyes. "I'll be waiting." Emma closed the door softly and turned to her mother, who looked at her with a mix of empathy and concern. "What do you want?" her mother asked, still holding that moment of connection they had just begun to forge. "I don't know," Emma admitted, rubbing her temples as if trying to soothe the chaos in her mind. "I thought I was ready to figure things out, but now you have to just be honest," her mother said, moving closer. "Listen to what you feel, not what others expect from you." Emma felt a twinge of frustration. "It's easy for you to say. I have 3 guys who all care about me in different ways. How can I possibly choose?" Her mother faltered for a moment, the weight of her own past settling over them like a fog. "You don't have to choose right now. Just discover what you truly want. It's your life." Emma stared into her mother's eyes, searching for the wisdom that had been absent for so long. "I never really knew who I wanted to be," she confessed. "And now I have to figure that out, while others are waiting." Her mother nodded, giving her space but drawing near enough to remind Emma she wasn't alone. Emma's heart raced again as she recalled Jack's confession and the undeniable connection they shared. "Can I trust my own feelings?" Emma whispered more to herself than her mother. At that moment, the doorbell rang again, this time more urgently, pulling them both back to the throes of reality. Emma shared a glance with her mother before stepping toward the door. Whatever or whoever lay beyond that threshold would demand her attention, perhaps a decision too. As she opened the door, anticipation hung heavy in the air. Standing there was Ryan, looking determined yet vulnerable. "Emma, we need to talk." With her heart in turmoil, she braced herself for what could unfold next. Would this be the moment that pushed her to confront the choices waiting in the shadows? Or would it open another avenue of revelation she hadn't anticipated? Emma's heart raced as she looked into Ryan's eyes. They had always held something deeper, a spark that flickered just below the surface. But today, his expression was different. There was urgency mixed with an edge of vulnerability. "Okay," she said, stepping aside to let him in, glancing back to make sure her mom was still behind her. She shut the door, nudging the tension to the back of her mind, focusing on Ryan. "What is going on?" Ryan took a deep breath, as if preparing for an Olympic dive. "I've been thinking a lot. About you, about us." He ran a hand through his hair, a familiar nervous habit that both melted her heart and amplified her anxiety. "Things got complicated, just like you said they would. And I don't want to ignore what's right in front of me." She tried to keep her expression neutral, but inside, her stomach twisted with a mixture of fear and hope. "What do you mean by what's right in front of you?" "Emma," he took a step closer, his voice lowering. "I think we both know there is something between us. I care about you, and I don't want to be just one of the options." Her mind was racing faster than her heartbeat. Conflicting feelings churned inside her like a storm. Just yesterday, she had been contemplating Jack's feelings, but now here was Ryan, laying something bare that she wasn't sure she was ready to confront. "Ryan," This is all so sudden, Emma replied, trying to sound steady, yet her voice quivered. I mean, Jack was just here. He flinched slightly, but retrieved his composure quickly. Yeah, I know, and I don't want to push you. But I also don't want to sit back and pretend like what we have is insignificant. She could sense the weight of his words. They dwelled in the space between them, thick and palpable. So, what do you want me to say? I want you to be honest with yourself, and with me, he replied, his blue eyes searching hers intently. I want you to think about what you really want. I don't want to be in this triangle. It's messy, and it's not fair to any of us. Emma bit her lip, feeling the rush of adrenaline course through her. I don't know what I want, Ryan. I thought I did, but in the end, it's your choice. Just remember that I care about you. I always have, he said softly, his eyes softening as he reached for her hand, intertwining his fingers with hers. And I'm here, waiting. But don't keep me here if you're unsure. His words hung in the air, shimmering with sincerity, yet they cut through the chaos swirling in Emma's mind like a knife, making her feel seen but also vulnerable. It meant fully embracing the gravity of what she had to decide. Taking a few deep breaths, she pulled her hand away gently. I can't keep everyone hanging, Ryan. But I'm scared, what if I choose you, and it doesn't work out? Then we'll figure it out, he responded with determination. A flicker of admiration sparked in her for his unwavering belief in their bond. But don't let fear dictate your choices. Fear or not, I feel like I'm standing at a fork in the road, she said, her voice cracking slightly. And I don't have a map. Maybe all you need is to trust your gut. Just promise me one thing. His solemn gaze held hers tightly. What? If you feel something, say it. No more games or hesitation. Just your truth. Emma nodded slowly, her heart racing. She could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on them, and she knew this was her chance to untangle the threads of hope and fear. But before she could reply, her mother's voice echoed softly from the other room. Emma? Is everything okay? The world outside seemed to be swirling with possibilities, and the air was thick with promises. She took a breath, trying to steady her racing heart. As Ryan stepped back to give her space, she felt as if both him and Jack were waiting, silhouettes in her future. Was she truly ready to unveil her heart? Her response was going to change everything, and just as she opened her mouth, the doorbell rang again, its chime piercing through the air like an urgent call. Emma froze. Who could it be this time? She shifted toward the door, her heart pounding harder than ever. Could today really hold more revelations? Or would this only deepen the questions swirling in her mind? Emma held her breath, the tension coiling tightly in her chest as she approached the door. Each chime rang like an echo of her chaotic thoughts, layering her confusion with distractions. Did she truly have the emotional energy for whoever awaited on the other side? Ryan shifted uneasily behind her, his expression a mix of concern and curiosity. Do you want me to get it? No, Emma said, shaking her head. This was her moment, she needed to take charge. Steeling herself, she grasped the doorknob and twisted it open. Standing there was Ava, Emma's closest friend, her breathless excitement cutting through the heaviness in the room. Emma! You won't believe what just happened. She bounced on her heels, oblivious to the weighty atmosphere. Not now, Ava, Emma said softly, glancing back at Ryan, a silent plea for understanding. Ava, however, pushed through with an irresistible enthusiasm. Seriously, it's important. You know how I've been tracking that guy from art class? Well, he actually asked me out. That's amazing. Emma forced a smile, trying to channel her friend's joy. It veered dangerously close to the distraction she feared. Wait. Ava's brow furrowed, quickly assessing Ryan's presence. Are you two talking about something? I can come back later. No, it's okay, Emma interjected, her nerves buzzing. We were just, sorting some things out. She glanced at Ryan, looking for affirmation, wanting him to know this wasn't all just noise around their conversation. Sorting. Sounds intense, Ava said, her excitement mixing with concern. Do you want me to leave you alone? Emma hesitated, her mind swirling. What did she really want? She needed clarity, and so far, the only certainty was the weight of Ryan's gaze. No, she said finally, her heart racing still. I think you should stay. I could use a friend right now. Ava stepped in, her bright energy filling the space. Okay, then. What is going on? Let us talk it out. I'm all ears. Ryan looked at Emma, possibly debating the impact of sharing this moment in a trio. But for Emma, the conversation had already shifted something within her. Well, Ryan and I were discussing, she faltered, the words jumbled in her throat. Our feelings, I guess. The admission hung there, fragile yet freeing. Ava's eyes widened with intrigue. Feelings. About each other? Oh, this is wild. Spill it. Emma felt a rush of heat on her cheeks, but there was also a flicker of hope. If Ava could be so excited about her friend's blooming romance, maybe it would help her gain some perspective on the tugging at her heart that it felt good to share. Ryan thinks we might have something real, and he doesn't want to wait around indefinitely because I'm stuck on Jack too. Ryan nodded, his face earnest. All I'm asking is for Emma to make a choice that reflects her heart. The vastness of Ava's smile felt like a tidal wave. Wow. That's so brave. Emma, you've got to listen to him. Brave isn't really how I feel right now, Emma admitted, the uncertainty surfacing again. I'm just scared that whatever choice I make will hurt someone. Sure, Ava said, more grounded now. But isn't it time for you to think about what your heart wants? If you keep choosing from fear, you might lose out on something real. You deserve that. Emma's heart warmed at her friend's words, yet doubt lingered. Would she really have what it took to face the potential fallout? She looked at Ryan, and the tenderness in his gaze made her pulse quicken again. As silence wrapped around them, she felt a tickle of realization. Perhaps this was just about choosing between Ryan and Jack, but about choosing herself above all else. Just as she opened her mouth to respond, her mom's voice echoed down the hallway again, now louder. Emma. Are you almost finished? I need you to set the table. Great, more interruptions, she thought, frustration bubbling inside her. But then she looked at Ava and Ryan, each of them poised and expectant, and she realized she couldn't let fear and timing hold her captive any longer. Okay, Emma finally took a deep breath, summoning every ounce of courage. I need to say something. Something that's been buried deep inside me. But before she could continue, a loud crash rattled from the kitchen, a sound that sent her heart leaping into her throat. What was that? Ava asked, concern flashing across her face. The noise echoed again, and Emma felt a surge of adrenaline. Whatever it was enough to throw everything off course in an instant. What is going on? Emma whispered, already dreading the interruption of her thoughts and feelings. Was this just another distraction? Without thinking, she dashed toward the kitchen, her heart racing with anticipation. What could possibly happen next? And would she ever get to speak her truth? Emma skidded to a halt in the kitchen doorway, breathless with anticipation and unease. The floor was strewn with broken glass, shards glittering like fallen stars. And standing amidst the chaos was her younger brother, Liam, eyes wide with shock, clutching a still wobbly plate. Are you okay? Emma rushed in, her voice thick with urgency. Liam nodded, a small whimper escaping his lips. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bump the counter. I was just trying to grab a snack. It's all right, little buddy, she replied softly, kneeling down to his level. We'll clean it up together. As she studied his face, she felt a mix of protectiveness and frustration. Liam was simply being a kid, and yet here she was, weighed down by grown-up problems. The moment felt heavy, and reality slammed back into her like a storm. A tug at her heart reminded Emma of the conversation she had left hanging. The truth she needed to face now seemed to blur into the background noise of her brother's misstep. Still, she couldn't forget the urgency to speak her mind. Her heart was desperately trying to reach out. Ava's voice broke through her swirling thoughts, pulling Emma back. "Do you need help with that?" "Yes." "Ava, can you grab the broom from the pantry?" Emma asked, grateful for her friend's presence. As Ava hurried to assist, Ryan appeared in the kitchen doorway, concern etched across his brow. "Everything all right?" Emma shot him a glance, feeling the weight of their unfinished conversation. "Just a little accident, nothing serious." Yet her heart thudded against her ribcage with the knowledge of how much was left unsaid between them. Liam's small fingers reached for a piece of glass, and Emma quickly swooped in, wrapping her palm around his to pull it away. "Let us leave the broken pieces on the floor," she said, feeling a surge of protectiveness. "That's a good idea," Ryan commented, stepping closer. "I can help clean it up. If you two can tidy this up, I'll sweep." Emma nodded, grateful. "Thanks, Ryan." While they worked, the atmosphere shifted slightly, the errant distractions finding their rhythm again. Ryan leaned over, carefully collecting fragments with a focus that made her heart quicken. There was something about the way he moved that steadied her, grounding Emma in the chaos. "Hey," he said, lowering his voice as Ava and Liam chatted nearby. "I know this is a bad time. But when we get everything sorted, do you want to finish that talk? I really want to hear what you have to say." His gaze held so much and made her heart flutter with uncertainty. She felt a flicker of hope and fear weaving together, wrestling within her. Yeah, I do," she managed, the words escaping her in breathy whispers. As they finished cleaning, Ava returned with a fresh plate of cookies, her smile wide. "I thought we could use a treat after all that drama." Emma couldn't help but laugh, the warmth wrapping around them like a cozy blanket. There were moments it felt all right, that intimacy she craved, but the larger weight of her decisions loomed still, heavy and unresolved. "Just a moment," she said. "Can we talk for a second?" Ryan turned to her, eyes brightening with anticipation, and she realized how much she wanted to express herself fully. How much she needed him to understand, to be vulnerable with her heart. "Sure, let's step outside," he suggested, and Emma felt a knot of nervous energy coil tighter in her gut. As they moved to the back porch, their friends' voices faded into the distance. The noise of the world slipped away, leaving just the quickened rhythm of her heart and the air filled with potential. She was here to find her truth, and the boldness to claim it. Emma took a deep breath, poised on the brink of revelation, but then the moment cracked like the glass on the floor. She hesitated, staring at Ryan's eager face, doubts flooding in again. What if she said something wrong? What if revealing her heart meant shattering her connection, or worse, hurting someone she cared about? "Emma, what do you want?" he asked, the raw honesty in his eyes inviting her in. Just as she opened her mouth to speak, a distant voice rang out, "Emma. Are you coming?" Her heart sank. The world was suddenly crashing down all around her again, that crucial moment dangling just out of reach. Would she buckle under the pressure? Or would she stand firm and finally claim the choice her heart craved? As her mind raced, Emma stared into Ryan's eyes, searching for the resolve to push past the fear. But when he caught a glimpse of her turmoil, something flickered across his face, concern or something deeper. What lay beneath the surface of their connection that was yet to be explored? "Emma," he began softly as uncertainty hung in the air, drawing the question in bold letters. "What is stopping you?" And with that question pulling at her, the moment felt charged. Everything was at stake. Would she finally find the courage to speak her truth, or would she retreat into silence once more? Emma hesitated, her thoughts swirling like leaves caught in a gust. Ryan's question hung in the air, a soft challenge, a dare. The world around them faded, allowing her heart to thrum loudly in her chest. I I don't want to lose you, she finally let slip, pausing to weigh her own vulnerability. What if I ruin everything? What if I'm not what you thought I was? Ryan's brows furrowed slightly, his blue eyes steady. Emma, whatever we've been building, whatever this connection is, it's already real. I'm not going anywhere. You don't have to hide from me. His words wrapped around her like a warm embrace, but her fears lingered. She could see the friendship they had nurtured and the small moments that sparkled between them, the shared laughs, the side glances, and the way he lit up when he talked about his dreams. The stakes felt impossibly high. Okay, she said slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. But there is something you need to know. Emma took a breath, feeling the walls of silence pressing down on her. There is someone else, a lot of someone else's, and it's complicated. So many emotions washed over his face: surprise, confusion, understanding. I'm listening, he encouraged, his tone gentling, inviting her to continue. Liam's distant laughter echoed through the yard, innocent and blissful. It reminded Emma of the simplicity they all craved, yet here she was tangled in her own complicated web. She paused, searching for the right words. I've been dating 3 guys. The admission felt heavy as it left her lips, a truth that she had kept so tightly wound up inside. Ryan's eyebrows raised in surprise, and for a moment, the world around them stilled. 3. He echoed incredulously. At the same time. It's not what you think. Emma protested, heat rising in her cheeks. I didn't mean for it to happen this way. I thought I was just dating, trying to figure stuff out, but I just ended up with these connections, and now I don't know what to do. I like them all, but I like you too. She held her breath, waiting for his reaction, watching the emotions flit across his face. Ryan stepped back, his expression a mix of concern and contemplation. So, you've been juggling them? Any feelings there, or just keeping options? It started light, but it got deeper, a connection with each, for different reasons. It felt secure at first, like I was getting to know myself. But it's a mess now. Emma's heart raced, her vulnerability laid bare. And the more I care, the more scared I become of hurting anyone involved. Ryan took a deep breath, running a hand over his hair as he processed her words. Have you told them? No, not yet, Emma admitted, a knot of anxiety tightening in her stomach. And that's why I'm terrified. I don't want to hurt anyone, but it's not fair to keep pretending I don't feel anything, especially not with you. There was a heavy silence, each moment stretching out like a taut wire. She could almost feel the weight of her choices pressing down, the fear of repercussions looming like dark clouds above. What do you want to happen next? Ryan's voice broke through the fog of her thoughts, and she looked into his questioning eyes, searching for a glimpse of reassurance. I want to be honest to you and to them, she said, a flicker of determination igniting within her. But I also want this, what we have. I can't lose it. Ryan nodded slowly, a mix of hope and caution in his gaze. So how do you plan to handle it? Emma looked away, contemplating the uncertainty of her path. Would she find the courage to mend the tangled threads of her heart? Or would the fear of loss keep her shackled in silence? Maybe I just need a plan, or a sign that would help me to make the right choice, she whispered, her heart pounding with the weight of unseen decisions. As the cool breeze rustled through the trees, a thought emerged, striking like lightning. What if confronting her tangled web of relationships meant risking it all, yet also paving the way for clearer skies? With new resolve bubbling within her, Emma turned back to Ryan, ready to draw the lines that could connect or disconnect them all. Would they chart a course through this storm together, or would the wind scatter them apart? Let us figure out how to do this, she declared, feeling a surge of courage coursing through her veins. And as the sun dipped lower, casting a golden hue over them, Emma knew a pivotal moment was on the horizon, a crossroads that would define everything. Emma stood there, adrenaline rushing through her veins. The weight of her truth hung heavy, but she could feel the shift in the air. Ryan's presence was stabilizing, he was her anchor. She swallowed hard, gathering her thoughts, piecing together how to navigate this complicated landscape she had created. "You don't look very reassured," Ryan said softly, breaking the silence. His voice was calm, but she registered a flicker of concern in his eyes. I need to be careful, Ryan. I've never been in a situation like this." "It's not just about us," she confessed, staring down at her hands, the cool grass beneath her fingertips grounding her. "You know, sometimes the most complicated things lead us to something beautiful," he replied, his gaze steady. "But it takes honesty." Emma nodded, feeling the weight of his words settle in. She liked Ryan so much that every smile he gave sent a spiral of butterflies through her stomach. But the thought of erasing the connections she had with the other guys felt almost like a betrayal. Each one of them brought something unique into her life: laughter, warmth, and companionship. Yet here she was, more confused than ever, on the brink of making a choice that could alter everything. "You're right," she said, lifting her gaze to meet his. "But how do I tell them?" Ryan stepped closer, his presence radiating support. "Maybe start with what feels right for you. If you care about them, they deserve to know just like I do." The idea of facing the guys made her stomach sink. Each conversation would be a slice, a moment of truth that could lead to tears. "It's going to hurt," she whispered. "Yeah, it might. But that's part of being honest. You can't control how they react, but you can control how you approach it," he urged gently, all his words a soothing balm to her anxious heart. "I keep thinking, what if I mess it up?" "Emma," Ryan took her by the shoulders, his eyes earnest, "growth often comes from discomfort. You've been juggling these relationships, carrying all this weight. Don't forget it's not just about them. They matter, yes, but so do you." His words ignited a small flame of courage within her. What if being honest was the key? It couldn't happen overnight, but maybe, just maybe, she could find a way to gracefully untangle the mess of emotions she had woven. "I could start with Liam," she said, feeling her heart speed up. "He feels the most, I think. Maybe if I explain it to him, he can help me figure out how to tell the others. Then reach out to him." "But Emma?" "Yeah. Don't rush it. Take your time. Your feelings matter just as much as theirs." A small smile tugged at her lips. Ryan was right. It was time for her to step up for herself just as much as for them. "Okay, I'll do it. I'll talk to Liam. Find the right time, and lay it all out," she affirmed, her voice sturdy. As the sun receded on the horizon, casting a warm glow over them, Emma felt a shift. Perhaps the road ahead was uncertain, but she had finally found the initial push she needed to set things in motion. Maybe the storms wouldn't scatter them into oblivion, perhaps they would clear the skies, leading to something brighter. Just the thought sent warmth through her. "Can I count on you to be there?" she asked, a hint of vulnerability starkly evident in her voice. "Of course," Ryan said, a reassuring smile breaking on his face. "I'm in this with you." The world around them buzzed alive with the sound of laughter and chatter from the festivities nearby, a contrast to the profound moment they had just shared. As they lingered in the fading light, Emma's mind raced with the possibilities ahead. She was at the edge of a liberation, a chance at honesty that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. With a new determination illuminating her path, Emma whispered to herself, "I can do this." But deep inside, the question lingered: would she find understanding, or were the consequences far worse than she anticipated? And as she turned her gaze toward Ryan, a new fear began to gnaw at her heart. What if honesty pulled them further apart instead of bringing them closer together? Emma's stomach churned as she pulled her phone from her pocket, her fingers trembling slightly. She had told Ryan she would talk to Liam, but now that moment felt like an insurmountable mountain looming before her. With a deep breath, she opened the messaging app, staring at Liam's contact picture, a goofy smile that always managed to lighten her mood. Just text him, she thought. But her mind was racing. What should she even say? The words danced on the tip of her tongue, but they refused to materialize. She typed a simple, "Hey, can we talk?" before quickly hitting send, as if releasing an arrow from a bow. There. It was done, there was no going back now. Her heart thudded in her chest as she watched the screen for a reply. She could almost hear the ticking clock behind her, each second stretching longer than the last. Finally, her phone buzzed. Sure. When and where? Emma felt a wave of relief wash over her. How about we meet at that coffee shop on Main? In about an hour. See you then. The message was short, but it set her mind racing again. An hour. She had only 60 minutes to prepare herself for the conversation that could change everything. Most of her life, she had avoided conflict at all costs. Now, she was diving headfirst into the most complicated situation she had ever faced. When she arrived at the coffee shop, the familiar aroma of roasted beans filled the air. She found a corner table, her palms clammy as she wrapped them around the warm mug placed in front of her. Each sip only calmed her nerves for a moment before the weight of her thoughts crashed in again. Liam arrived minutes later, his presence always bringing a spark of joy. He waved excitedly, his enthusiasm palpable, completely unaware of the storm brewing inside her. "Hey, Emma," he exclaimed as he slid into the seat across from her. "It's been a while. How have you been?" "Good, just busy," she replied, forcing a smile. The reality of what she had to do squeezed her heart. Liam's smile faded slightly when he noticed her sudden change in demeanor. "You okay?" he asked, concern etching his face. Emma took a deep breath, feeling the words rolling around in her head. "Yeah, actually. There is something important I need to talk to you about." "Okay," he leaned in, giving her his full attention. As she began to unravel her feelings, Emma's heart raced. I've been seeing a few people. You, Ryan, and there's another guy." Liam's expression shifted, confusion washing over his features. "What do you mean? Like dating?" "Yes, and no," she stumbled through her explanation, having never even considered how to articulate this whirlwind of emotions before. "I mean, I care about all of you, but I've been avoiding the truth about how I really feel. I hope this doesn't change everything, but I can't keep pretending." He was silent for a moment. Emma's heart pounded in her chest, fear of rejection creeping in. "Emma, this is a lot to take in," he finally said, struggling to find the right words. "I know, and I'm sorry. I didn't intend for it to happen this way. I just didn't know how to deal with it until now," she confessed, feeling tears prick at her eyes. Liam looked down at his coffee, the weight of the moment hanging between them. "I've liked you for a while. I thought we were heading somewhere." Tears spilled over, betraying Emma's carefully built walls. "You are, and you still could be," she said quickly, wanting to reassure him. "But I need to figure this out. I don't want to lose you." He studied her intently, and for a moment, she worried that her honesty had pushed him away. But then, something changed in his expression. "You're really brave for saying this. I can't say I fully understand, but I appreciate you wanting to be honest." Relief washed over her, but uncertainty still loomed as she questioned whether this fragile moment could hold. How would the others react? As Liam leaned back in his chair, a new question filled Emma's mind. What would come next after this? Would it lead to freedom, or a tangled web that could ensnare them? Having taken the first step into the unknown, she realized how vast the journey ahead truly was. And with that thought, she prepared herself for each conversation that would follow, knowing deep down that honesty could either bind them together or unravel everything. But would the truth truly set her free? Or was she just beginning to dig her own grave? Emma sat quietly in her living room, the remnants of the day's chaotic revelations still swirling in her mind. The sun dipped low, casting amber rays that danced through the windows, enveloping her in warm light. With each passing moment, her heart felt both heavy and hopeful. Today had been the day she had taken the first pivotal step toward clarity, laying her complicated truth bare for Liam. But what now? Liam's reaction still lingered in her thoughts, surprise mixed with understanding. He hadn't turned away, he hadn't disappeared. In fact, he projected an air of calm, something she desperately needed as she prepared for the impending conversations with Ryan and Jack. Emma felt a tap of nervous energy in her chest as she glanced at her phone, half expecting another notification. She knew she had to reach out to Ryan next, and the thought made her palms sweat. What if he felt differently now? The dreaded question haunted her, but she pushed it aside. Taking a deep breath, she pulled up Ryan's contact, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. "Hey, can we talk?" Simple and direct, before she could second-guess herself, she hit send. Emma pounded a nervous rhythm on the table, waiting for his reply. Moments felt like hours until finally, the phone buzzed. "I'd love to." "When and where?" His response was instantaneous. Relief washed over her. He hadn't pulled away. She quickly typed the details for the park, a place where they could have some privacy amidst the vibrancy of the world. As she drove to the park, a mix of trepidation and determination swelled within her. Her heart raced, not just from anxiety but also exhilaration. Today marked the beginning of her honest ascent, a real transformation in her life. Multiple people cared for her, and she wanted to respect that. Upon arriving, Emma noticed Ryan leaning against a tree, arms folded but with a soft smile that eased her nerves. He looked up, and their eyes locked, a connection that felt more profound than before. "Hey," she said softly, approaching him. "Hey, you," Ryan replied, warmth radiating from him. "So, what's on your mind?" There it was, the moment of honesty she had promised herself. Emma took a deep breath, the weight of everything pressing gently against her heart. "I talked to Liam. I told him everything." Ryan's eyes widened slightly, and Emma watched as he worked through his thoughts. "And? How did he take it?" "He surprised me," she said, a small smile breaking free as she recalled Liam's earnest support. "He was understanding. He didn't freak out or get upset. But now I have to talk to you." "Okay," he encouraged, taking a step closer. "I'm listening." Emma's heart raced again, and she felt her stomach twist. "I've realized that I genuinely care for you, Ryan. But I also care for Jack, and I need to be honest about that too. I don't want to lead anyone on." His expression shifted from curiosity to comprehension, and she felt the pause hanging between them, heavy with unvoiced emotions. "I appreciate your honesty. But what do you really want?" The question echoed in her mind, beckoning her to uncoil the truth she had been wrestling with for too long. "I want to explore what we have without losing sight of my connection with Jack. I want to be fair, but I also want to be true to myself." Ryan took her hands, grounding her as they held each other's gaze. "Then let us be open about it. That's all I can ask for." A flood of relief swept through her, washing away the fears that weighed her down. "I'm willing to figure this out, but it might get messy." "Good things often do," he replied, a hint of playfulness returning to his voice. "As long as you're honest, we'll navigate those messes together." Her spirit soared, and for the first time, she felt the threads of her heart weaving something strong and hopeful amidst the chaos. "Thank you for being so understanding. Thank you for being brave. You're not alone in this." As the sun dipped behind the horizon, Emma felt a weight lifting off her shoulders. There was still Jack to talk to, but she felt armed with the power of truth. She could do this, and she could do it with grace. When Emma finally kissed Ryan goodbye, she knew their connection had fortified. Now, it was time to meet Jack. Uncertainty still lurked, but hope infused her spirit, lighting the path to a brighter tomorrow. As she summoned the courage to face Jack, an image of her father's journal flashed through her mind. Emblazoned in ink was his voice, urging her to live fiercely and embrace the messy beauty of it all. The following afternoon, Emma stood at Jack's door, heart pounding and nerves crackling around her. "Here goes nothing," she whispered to herself, steeling her resolve. Jack opened the door, surprise flickering on his face. Emma. I didn't expect to see you, he stammered, his brow furrowed. Can we talk? She asked, voice steady despite the tremors inside. Of course, he said, stepping aside, invitation clear. As Emma walked inside, she felt the moments of truth humming around her, ready to unveil their course. With each word exchanged, she knew she was not just unlocking the door of her heart but paving a path toward a life defined by authenticity and connection. Emma was ready to embrace the discomfort, ready to forge ahead and unearth the love that awaited her. After all, real connection thrived in honesty, and today was just the beginning of an incredible journey. Life was messy, but it also held boundless beauty, and Emma was finally ready to experience it all. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, because your support genuinely makes a difference. Comment your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.